On today's show, we look into the puppeteers behind this year's fall musical. And we also look into how Student Council recognizes our veterans on campus. And finally, we look into one athlete's story that took her abilities on the court to the next set. These stories and more on this edition of Hilltop News. What's rockin', Rock Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Hilltop News. Live from Studio 1060, I'm Cambria Hess.
And I'm Taylor Bedford.
We have a great show in store for y'all today, but first, Taylor's going to catch you up on everything going on around the Hill. Taylor?
Thank you, Cambria. Last week, voters in the Prosper area came together to vote on 4 bonds proposed by the district.
I have to remind myself that this bond is for kids, right? It's going to give us school facilities and things that we need for the future of kids who are not even here yet, but also for all of you that are already here.
Ultimately, the bond calling for $94 million towards a new stadium and upgraded athletic facilities did not pass. However, the other 3 propositions which focused on academics and renovating older buildings in the district passed, including a new performing arts center. Applications for the Prosper Education Scholarships for Seniors opens this Thursday, November 16th. For more information, go to www.prospereducationfoundation.org. On Saturday, a small airplane crashed into a car on Virginia Parkway. According to the McKinney Fire Department, the plane was attempting to make an emergency landing at the Arrow County Airport, and then going off the end of the runway into the street, crashing into a car. Frisco ISD 8th grader Carson Raper actually got the hard landing on video. He said, "I was just stunned. I just kind of immediately started telling my friends what had happened because I had been texting them previously before the wreck, and I was just telling the people around me I was just in shock." Authorities say that out of the 3 people involved, only 1 person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The Texas Senate recently passed 4 bills requested by Governor Greg Abbott last week. The bills included a $500 million savings account program, a bill to give people pay raises, a $1.5 billion budget on the construction of a wall on the Texas-Mexico border, and a bill that would empower state and local police to enforce immigration law. On November 8th, SAG-AFTRA announced that they were ending the strike after 118 days of protesting, saying they came to an agreement ending the strike altogether. Many are excited for films such as Deadpool 3, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, It Ends With Us, and the final season of Stranger Things to resume production.
This past week, Rock Hill Theater presented their fall musical, Little Shop of Horrors. Brian Tejas looked into one of the integral parts of the show, which bridged the gap between actors and technicians.
Performing the musical Little Shop of Horrors proposes a unique challenge with one of the main characters, Audrey 2, a fast-going plant controlled by puppeteers.
So the biggest plant sits like a backpack on the operator's back, and it is probably about 4.5 to 5 feet wide. So it's a whole body experience when trying to figure out how to operate the plant. The medium-sized plant, I think, is more of a challenge because he has to sit in one position upwards, so he has to sit upright like this for about 20 minutes.
With having a small, medium, and large-sized version of the plant, 2 puppeteers are tasked with operating the many moving pieces that come along with the plant.
As the plant operator, I'm in this big plant behind me right here, and that's an integral part of the show. What I do is I operate the lower jaw. I can mouth words that are coming from the people that voice the plants off stage. So I have to learn their cadences and diction for everything they say to make sure it's working well with how I move the mouth.
Not only does Reese have to work with the 3 voices behind the plant, but other actors also face the challenge of making the relationship between the plant and characters believable.
It has been a struggle trying to understand how to deal with it because it is someone's hand basically moving it. So there were lots of run-throughs where I just have to be flexible with understanding that sometimes it's not really a human and I just have to, like, how would I interact if there was a talking plant there? Basically, I'm basically playing make-believe with myself, trying to see if maybe if the plant moves a certain way, how would I react to it? If it starts to twist a certain way, how would I move as Seymour?
From the smallest plant being only around 1 foot tall to the largest standing at 7 feet tall, Audrey 2 was brought to life with dedication and communication between the actors and technicians behind it. For Hilltop News, I'm Brian Tejas.
Rock Hill Theater's next musical will be the show Mean Girls in the spring. Last Friday, Student Council held a Veterans Day breakfast. Ricardo Yanez took a look into how this recognizes our veterans on campus.
With so much honor and gratitude to express, Student Council hosted a Veterans Day breakfast to reflect on the commitment these men and women made to our nation.
So the Veterans Day breakfast was important because it really showed how the JROTC and Student Council organizations can come together for the community and to show a whole appreciation for all that the veterans have done and sacrificed, not only for their family and friends, but for their country as well.
Bringing the school closer with each event, Student Council seeks to recognize all parts of our campus.
And just overall trying to find ways to encourage school spirit, but not only that, patriotism is another aspect of it, so Veterans Day, and just making sure that the leaders of, this world, that they're just celebrated and making sure that everyone knows that, this is such a grand event for us, and just making sure they're known and we have gratitude for them.
Engaging with our community one event at a time, we love seeing our veterans get the respect they deserve. For Hilltop News, I'm Ricardo Yanez.
With us having a big community full of veterans, be sure to thank them for their service when you see them. With fall sports coming to an end and our winter sports starting soon, Alexander Jones is in studio to catch you up on the action. Alex?
Thanks, Cambria. Starting off with their first non-district game, boys basketball is getting back in action against Berkner. Our Blue Hawks didn't let the Rams take the lead once with a win 61-49. Standout performances include Tavian Gassu with 14 points and a 78% field goal percentage. Also starting up this last week was wrestling, when both the girls and the boys took the fight to the Arlington Invite. They did not once slow down, with our boys picking up second and third place, and our girls set an example, winning not just first, but second and third places. Now with new sports starting up soon, here's a quick preview on when you can expect to see our teams pick back up again. This past week, Nick Fine, Grant Nekuza, Skylar Townsend, Lauren Polk, Alicia Sittamarang, and Riley Smith signed their national letter of intent, finalizing their commitment to the college of their choice. Aidan Richmond has the story of Riley Smith and her work towards this next step.
Riley Smith is one of the Blue Hawks' first to four, playing for the volleyball team all through high school, each year doubling her stats and work effort from the last.
Setting the standard, that's all it is, putting in the hard work no matter what, even doing the extra reps. Everybody looks at me and they're like, why are you doing extra reps? And it's because this is what I do, that's what I want to program, the program that I want to set the standard for. And
Coach Angel Moderer emphasizes a culture on building each other through the tough moments, putting in the extra work when you're not asked, to build a better team and to better yourself.
It means the world to me, just watching her from, that freshman year, the gawky young player with inexperience, ready to go, watching her grow and learn and dedicate herself to, improving every single day and asking for help and never giving up. If she got a rep wrong, it was, let me do it again.
Through her efforts on and off the court, she was able to go to Henderson State on scholarship, making everyone around her proud of her work through the years.
She had a couple mentors that she had, so we brought it up to her, since you had mentors, then you should take a couple of the lower classmen and kind of mentor them. And there's a couple of 3 girls that really loved her, for what she did. She's, a straight A student, and she deserves it. She's put the work in, and we're very proud of her.
Riley Smith took the next step in her athletic career in her stride for greatness and leaving the legacy she wants at Rock Hill. For Hilltop News, I'm Aidan Richmond.
Riley Smith and the 5 other athletes Rock Hill had to assign to colleges last Wednesday are leaders in their programs and to the school. Well, that's all we have for today's show. For Hilltop News, I'm Alexander Jones.
I'm Taylor Bedford.
And I'm Cambria Hess. Keep rockin', Blue Hawks.